Hi everyone, my name is Ryan and I'm the Midlife Skier. I decided to take a long ski weekend in early February 2026, skiing at resorts in the Northwest Virginia area. I drove up from North Carolina to Harrisonburg, Virginia on Thursday evening and got a hotel there. I've heard several people say good things about Timberline Resort in West Virginia, so I chose to go there first on this trip. Today, I'm going to go through my ski day at Timberline, West Virginia. The drive over to Timberline from Harrisonburg was just over 2 hours. The route Waze took me on was pretty hairy, with the entire route single-lane country roads over 2 or 3 different mountain passes, a lot of switchbacks on the way. There's also a longer but higher speed route that I ended up taking on the way back to the hotel. It took almost the exact same time, even though it was an extra, I think, 30 or 40 miles. I made better time than Waze expected, so I ended up arriving at Timberline just after 8 a.m. This gave me time to get a front row parking spot, grab my gear, and go warm up in the lodge while getting ready to ski. The weather at Timberline was pretty cold, and snow started coming down around 10 a.m. Conditions were very good with very little ice. The snow during the morning and afternoon was great since it was on top of nicely groomed conditions. Since it was a Friday, the resort was very quiet in the morning, but it started getting busier around mid-morning. An important thing to note about Timberline is that it only has one main lift, a high-speed six-pack, luckily. This lift takes you to the top where the mountain fans out to several trails, including green, blue, black, and double black diamond trails. There's a lower quad lift that covers the bottom half of the mountain, but this is mostly used for night skiing and for the park. For this ski day, I was on my trusty Armada Declivity 88C skis. As I usually do, I started off on a green trail to warm up called Salamander. The lift and run were in great shape. I highly recommend this over anything else I've seen in North Carolina, especially Beach Mountain, for first-time skiers. After this, I did the 3 blue runs on skiers' left side of the mountain. I found these blue runs to be pretty fun, but they had a lot of rollers. Twister, the far left trail, was fun and longer, but going through the tunnels it has was slightly unnerving because there are flat areas before and after the tunnels, and you really want to go through carrying some speed, but they're slightly narrow. So when you're headed at this narrow tunnel opening at fairly high speed, like I said, it's a little unnerving. I did the Black Diamond run, White Lightning, and found it a little intense, though fun. I wanted to do the other Black Diamond Trail called Thunderstruck, but it was ungroomed with enormous snowmaking whales that I was just not interested in navigating, so I left that one for another day. As usual, I did lunch early at around 11 a.m. and found the slopes much emptier once I was back out around noon. I took advantage of this to lap the blue runs several more times before calling it a day. Since it was starting to really snow hard at this point and I had a 2-hour drive back to the hotel, I called it quits around 1:15 p.m. I really enjoyed my time at Timberline. It's one of the only places I've been where everyone was super friendly and just really excited to be there. Maybe that's because it was snowing, but it was really cool anyway. I also found the facilities and lift to be very nice and new there. It's clear some money has been put into this place recently. Lift lines were always short, I think partly because it was a Friday and partly because the high-speed lift was just so efficient. I can really only think of two negatives about Timberline. Number one, it was annoying that they required me to take off my small Camelback water backpack every time on the lift. I've never had to do this anywhere else, but honestly, it really wasn't a big deal. No one was nasty about it, and I made sure to always do it before getting in line so that I wasn't holding things up. But it was just a minor annoyance that I haven't had really to deal with anywhere else. The other problem or negative of Timberline really isn't its fault. It was a painfully long drive, especially from my home. From where I live, if I were to drive it in one shot, it would be about 5.5 hours, which is an hour and a half past Snowshoe, West Virginia, which is a much bigger resort. It's just hard to imagine that the extra hour and a half drive is worth it, as good as Timberline was. Due to the snow coming down, the roads were getting pretty sketchy by early afternoon. So I was glad I left when I did, though the Subaru was perfectly fine, and the alternative highway route that I took home, or not home, back to the hotel, quickly got me out of the bad road conditions. But it was pretty sketchy, even sketchier than I've experienced earlier in the season. With the short lift lines and probably the best snow conditions all season, I was able to get some pretty good stats. Here they are. Top speed for the day was 32.4 miles per hour. Average speed was 19.6 miles per hour. Total vertical feet for the day were 15,546 feet. I was really able to get in some good laps with that high-speed lift. Also, with the great conditions, I was able to do slightly better on my carve score by getting a 100 in parallel skiing, which is my second best all time. I think I could have done a little better if the runs weren't so roller heavy, but that's a very minor thing to whine about. In summary, Timberline was a great experience. This is a nice resort, and I'm really trying to figure out how to get back here at some point in the future. Maybe combining it with some other stops on a road trip, as I did this time, would be a good way to go. Maybe combining it with a stop at nearby Canaan Valley Ski Resort could make it worth the drive. The mountains seem to have something for everyone, from beginner to advanced, which was nice. I will definitely be back to Timberline at some point, and I highly recommend it if it's within a semi-reasonable driving time to you. So that's it for Timberline, and I hope you have a great day.